Oop, not myself. Everybody else muted. There we go. All right. Okay, so thank you so much, Crystal, for giving me the opportunity to hop on here. I wanted to make sure that you guys had the opportunity to kind of hear a little bit about what's available with Plexus from all ends of the spectrum. My name is Jenny Snell, and I am your jewel upline. So I helped Crystal get started with Plexus a few months ago. I know her through my daughter. Her daughter and my daughter are friends. And as y'all know, Crystal had suffered with some really difficult health struggles, especially migraines. And I had made some posts that she had seen through my daughter's Facebook page about how these supplements can help you with different health conditions. And so Hannah, my daughter, actually got us connected. And the rest is kind of history from there. She started seeing results from the products and feeling better. And when you find something that you really like, it's easy to talk to your friends about. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a little bit. So that's how I know Crystal. But I actually started Plexus about 2.5 years ago. And I likewise had health situations that were debilitating all day, every day for me. And I had tried a lot of things for almost 15 years to feel better. I have multiple autoimmune diseases. And after having my 4th and 5th child, my health plummeted. I was spread really thin with taking care of young teenagers and infants. And it really, I was really in a low spot where I couldn't figure out why God was allowing me to feel so terribly if he had allowed me the opportunity to have all these children. And so I was really struggling, and that also caused me to struggle with anxiety and some depression. I was running fevers, I had rashes, and had a lot of inflammation. So I was just a really miserable person, and my family will probably agree that I was miserable because I wasn't probably the most pleasant person to be around either for several years. So I likewise found Plexus on social media. I had seen posts and really ignored them for a long time because I had thought that, one, I had tried everything else, and 2, why would that work if I had already tried so many things like that? But then it wore me down. I'm so glad that it did, because Plexus is very different than anything else on the market. And you may already be experiencing that and understanding what I'm talking about. You may be starting to feel better. I will say it took a good 6 months on the products before I saw major health changes. And that was for my health conditions. Now, I will say that doesn't mean it will take you 6 months. It doesn't mean it's going to take you 6 days. Everybody's nutritional deficiencies and struggles are totally different. And that's why Plexus isn't really cookie cutter. It's very different in that it handles things on a root level. So it's going to go in and start nourishing your body so your body can get better on its own, in its own way. And as long as you're putting the right stuff in it, it's going to start changing, and you're going to see some really incredible results. So I want to encourage you, if you feel like things are going a little bit slower, or maybe you're super pumped up right now because you're really starting to feel great. But if you're not quite there yet, stay with it, because it does happen. There was many times over the first 6 months that I really, just having little wins was awesome. I was sleeping a little bit better, or I noticed that I would have a little bit more energy. But I had not had any like major health changes just yet. So there was times where I felt like, well, if this is it, then I mean, that's great, but is it really worth it? But then about that 5.5 to 6 month mark, I realized that I was no longer running fevers, and my rashes were gone off of my face. And that was really important for me because, you want your skin to look good, right? You want it to reflect the way you're starting to feel. And that was starting to happen. My energy was up, my sleep was better. And then eventually I started noticing that my joint pain was gone. And then I noticed that I started losing weight, and the inflammation was going down in my body. And I feel better now, 2.5 years in, than I have in now about 17 years. So that is a huge thing for me. And so that is why I very passionately share about these products, is because over the last 2.5 years, I have literally watched hundreds of lives change before my eyes. And that gets me up and gets me going every single day. And now, if I had to look outside of our little circle, I could tell you I've seen thousands of lives change. And it's not something that I take for granted. I thank the good Lord every single day that He has given me the opportunity to be part of His work and to be part of something so beyond incredible. So I get real passionate about it. I get real excited. There's nothing like watching your friends feel better or experience life changes. So, in all of that saying, when I first started sharing about Plexus, I didn't jump in with 2 feet. And I just really was uncertain that that was even what I wanted to do. I had shared about it with my closest friends and family because they knew me and I knew them and I knew what their health struggles were. And I started seeing other people's testimonies. Like, for example, I saw a couple of pregnancy testimonies and I thought, wow, you can take this while you're pregnant and it's really doing great things for that girl. And there was my very sweet sister who I'm very close with, and she knew that I was taking these products. She was in her second pregnancy and it was going terribly. She felt awful and she was so inflamed. They were getting ready to send her next appointment, which would have been the next month later, for another glucose test. So there was just so many elements going on in her pregnancy that she was not happy with. And she just was not feeling good. She was still very sick. And I saw that you could take these products pregnant. And so, of course, I told her about them. But I also said, take them to your doctor. Go let them look at this and make sure you can take this. But this is what I'm seeing. And she did. She took them over to her midwife. Her midwife said, absolutely try it. And so within 6 weeks, it totally changed her pregnancy. She was feeling amazing. And her health testimony about her pregnancy is in Peak into Plexus. So, and I'll share her name and everything with you guys in our thread if you ever want to see her pregnancy journey, or ever have friends or find yourself pregnant and wanting to use these supplements while having a pregnancy. It really can change things when your blood sugars are balanced, when you don't have much inflammation, you're working on your gut health. It really changes the trajectory of that pregnancy. Wait, no, Miss Teresa to pop on her computer. But I kind of look at sharing Plexus like this. If you have a new restaurant pop up in your town and you go and eat there and it is amazing and you love it, it's really easy to tell your friend the next day about it, right? So then you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, that's normal, that's casual. You're not thinking about it, or I should say, you're not overthinking about it, right? So what if that Mexican restaurant in town said, hey, you tell your friends to come eat here and they tell me that you sent them, when you come in next, I'm going to give you a free cheese dip. Well, I'm going to tell you, like my personality, I would have free cheese dip for life because I'm going to get all my friends to come eat there because one, it's good. I'm not going to tell them about something that's not good. And two, I want that free cheese dip, right? So I think about sharing Plexus kind of like that. One, I know it works. I know it works because I've seen it work in other people's lives and I've seen it work in my life. And I've read hundreds of testimonies about it working in people I don't even know. And that builds my belief. And so it's easy for me when I hear somebody telling me about something that they're struggling with to want to give them a healthy solution or a healthy way to at least give something a try. And so, when you're first getting started with Plexus, you may not be looking for a completely side income or a whole, leave your job and a main income. You may just want your products paid for, and that's completely attainable. Sharing Plexus with just 3 people, the 3 closest people in your life, it could be your sister, your best friend, it could be your neighbor down the street, it could be your boss. Anybody that you could think of. It could be your groomer. I don't know who you talk to, any of those people. And knowing what they're struggling with, or just being excited to tell them, hey girl, I don't know if you struggle with anything like I did, but this is what I've experienced and this is how I'm feeling now. And my friend Crystal helped me get started with these all natural products. If you're ever interested, I'd love to connect us together. And that's your best friend right there, Crystal. She is there to hold your hand and help you. We don't want you trying to share it all by yourself because that's intimidating and really overwhelming. And Crystal's gotten really confident in these products and how they work and what to suggest for people. And the other cool thing about this company is that Crystal also has tons of ladies around her, just like you do too, to help answer any questions and to help support her, or even go into a three-way message and do the talking for her. If she has a situation where maybe she doesn't feel comfortable, maybe they've got X, Y, and Z medications, and she's like, I'd rather let somebody who's been doing this a little bit longer explain that. So there's no, let me see, there's no like level of obligation is what I want you to understand. You can fit this in any way, any shape that you want to. And there's no pressure. If you decide just to share with one person, your best friend or your sister, we're not going to come after you and be like, you got to share with 2 more people. It's going to benefit you if you do, but it's not necessary. It's not 100%. You don't have to do that. This business has been one of the most incredibly uplifting, encouraging, and positive experiences. And I can tell you, I was someone who was not real key on this type of industry until I've been in it. And I kind of see that, hey, it's really actually amazing. It doesn't have to be yucky. It can be really beautiful. So Plexus also offers tons of free resources, really help you be as successful as you want to be. And that is one thing that in this company and in this industry, this is very, very, very different. For example, you have an app on your phone. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I encourage you to download it. I'm going to show you real quick what it looks like on my phone. If you have not downloaded it, I think you just go to the App Store. Whether you have an Android, I'm not sure what it's called, but I know on an iPhone, it's just like the Apple App Store. And you just download it right from there. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put up here. Okay, it's called the Plexus Engage app. But if I can blow it up so it's really big. This is what it looks like. See, Plexus Engage. That's what it looks like. We have this great app, and our team has this great group on Facebook that allows you, what it does is we'll put you in this group. It tells you or your friends how to download the app, and we walk you through how to share a free sample, because when you got started, you should have received 3 free samples to give to anyone that you would like. And you only need basic information to share those 3 samples. You need their first name and last name, email address, mailing address, and I think the telephone number is optional. Plexus isn't going to stalk them. They are going to send them a little, an email maybe that says your sample's on your way, and it shares the video about the product that they're receiving. And then it follows up with them one time to let them know, or to ask them how they love their sample. It's very simple. And then Plexus responds back on the app to you, letting you know that your friend received their sample and they either loved it with a thumbs up, said they haven't taken it, or disliked it with a thumbs down. So it gives you some feedback on the sample that you shared and kind of how to follow up with that conversation. So it's really a brilliant idea, and it takes the pressure off of anything, because who doesn't love a free sample? Most people will try a free sample of anything. So offering a free sample to someone is a great way to try to share Plexus. And being part of that group is a great way to see how you can do that very easily. It walks you right through it. Another thing that we have is called the Silver and 7 group. You may already be in that group, but it breaks it down into 7 days. Now, just because it's 7 days doesn't mean that you have to complete everything in 7 days. It stays up all month. And you can take it day by day, or you can take it day 1 for a couple of days, day 2 for a couple of days. Everything with Plexus is at your own pace. We just want to make sure that you have all the resources that you, so the samples are going to be on your app. They're preloaded onto your app. So once you download the app, the samples should be there. It may take a few minutes for them to catch up. If they're not there, for some reason, within 24 hours, reach out to me. We'll get in touch with the liaison and find out where your samples are, because they're probably in technology world somewhere floating around, and we'll get them put into your app, no worries. And you can always purchase samples. I want to say that I would highly recommend, instead of purchasing samples, just come let me know you need a sample. I will always be glad to mail out free samples to anyone that you need. We also have the sample box. So if somebody's wanting to try more than one thing, for $20, they can purchase a sample box from you. You have a link with your membership that takes them directly to your sample box, and you handle nothing. Plexus sends it out for them. All you do is send them this cool little link for this $20 sample box, and they get a 3-day box with 3 shakes, 3 slims, 3 Metaburns, 3 actives to try 3 days of the weight loss program. Or they get a beauty box. So for $20, you can get a beauty box and get 3 days of collagen, 3 days of pink drink, 3 days of day serum, 3 days of night serum, and 3 days of face wash, and get to try the Doyome box. I will also tell you that you can get that through your own account as well. If you haven't ever tried our skincare and maybe you're curious about it, for $20, you can try it for 3 days. You can order samples for yourself as well, just to kind of an FYI. So that's in there as well. Samples are great because a lot of people just like trying things before they make a decision. And I can always help you with that. We have sample groups. Once someone purchases a sample box, we've got a group where you don't have to do anything once they get that box. All you have, well, you have to do a little bit. You have to put them in the group. Let them know they're in the group. And then we walk them through the whole 3 days. We have a day where we talk about the importance of gut health and how these products work with that. We talk to them about Metaburn and why it's different and not really a fat burner pill. It's actually a metabolism increaser. And then it basically turns on your body's like engine and it kicks up your metabolism. So then you are burning fat on your own way and not in a bad way, if that makes sense. So it goes into all these really cool details for 3 days. And then you just circle back around and ask them, you know, how they felt about their samples and if they wanted to give it a try for the 60 days. Excuse me, sorry. I know it sounds like I'm going really fast, but I am recording it and I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm getting it all in and being really respectful of y'all's time. I don't recommend taking Metaburn at night. There is a product that I do recommend if you're wanting to increase weight loss. It's called Balance, and you can take that at night. If you take Balance at night, when your body goes to sleep, your body kicks into, so while you're sleeping and you're resting, your body takes all of the fat that it did not use for the day for fuel, and it stores it as fat. So what Balance does is it goes in and it tells your cells, it tells your body not to absorb all of that fat and to just excrete of it. So when you get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, out it comes, okay? So flawless little system there. What it also does is when your cells on a cellular level that you do not absorb that fat, it doesn't stimulate your glucose metabolism. So therefore, you're not storing it as fat, but you're also not having an insulin spike when you're sleeping. So it's two very important things that can be prevented just by taking that 1 or 2 pills at night. That balance is what I'm talking about. So if you want more information about that later on, I'll be glad to chat with you about that product, or Crystal can chat with you about that product. But it is, most of our products with Plexus are multifaceted. So they do multiple things and they help multiple systems within your body. For example, the MetaBurn we were just talking about, it is amazing for people with thyroid conditions. It has specific herbs and things in it that really, not only does it kick on that metabolism, but it helps balance out that thyroid, that hormone. So it's just, everything is just really, really neat. We have some of the most brilliant scientists and doctors. I'm just going to leave that little nugget of information there too. Whether it's the event, having people share with the sample boxes, whether it is sharing with the app, just know that you always have, I know Crystal's working during the day a good bit, so if she's ever not able to chat with you, she can always get you back to me, or you can come directly to me and we can do like a little 4-way chat. That way Crystal knows what's going on, and I'm also being a layer of support for you guys. If you have somebody who has questions, I'm always happy to answer questions. I try to be available as much as possible. We do live out in the middle of nowhere, so sometimes my internet and my cell phone service can sabotage that a little bit here or there, but nonetheless, I do try to be really, really diligent in being present for you guys. So in that, the 3-way messages or 4-way messages are really invaluable. It's just great layers of support, great layers of information. The only other thing I want to share with you guys, and then I'll take any questions that you have, is we have an event coming up on Wednesday night. There's not going to be a post about it until tomorrow evening, but this is a really, really cool event, and it doesn't take very much effort at all. All you have to do is on Wednesday morning, well, first you need to let me know you're interested. Second is on Wednesday morning, we're going to open up a messenger group. So Facebook Messenger. We're going to have a group, and it's going to be a gut health event. Okay. And at 8:45, we'll kick it off. From 8:45 till 9 o'clock that evening. It's just 15 minutes. There will be 8 little posts that share about gut health and weight loss. So if you have any friend that is interested in gut health or weight loss, I highly recommend tomorrow getting with me or Crystal, letting us know. That way we can make sure you get added to this event thread. So that way Wednesday morning, we'll add you, and then you can add your friends. And then that night, all they need to do is open up their messenger around 8:30, 8:45, wait for the event to start. And then it's going to give them all the information. We're going to have a video. The microbiome video explains why Plexus is different and how it helps on a root level, what it helps with. We'll have 2 1-minute testimonies. And then we'll have some different package options and different products that would benefit those goals. And then at the end, we'll have a little poll that asks, what were you most interested in? And that way, if your friends tap one of those polls, they're interested in something. And so it really takes the pressure off wondering, because then they've answered it. And then it's easy to go back into that message privately with them and say, I'm so excited that you came to this event. I saw that you wanted more information about the weight loss products. Let's talk about that. And then you can always lean on Crystal or myself, and we can help you with that conversation and make sure that we get them the right material or the right products or the right sample. So that's going to be Wednesday, and those events are a lot of fun. I'm also going to tell you, those events are so easy to do. So let's say that you do that event and you're like, oh, that was easy. I absolutely love it. I have a friend that's interested, but I have more friends that I really wish I had put into that message thread. Guess what? We can do one of those events just for you and your friends. It only takes 15 minutes of our time, and then it only takes a few minutes of your friend's time. And it's a really easy way just to share some information. And it takes, again, the pressure off of you having to feel like, well, I have all these people I'm thinking of, but I don't really know what to say to them. Well, we can just ask them, would you be interested in coming to an event and hearing about these supplements that I'm absolutely loving? And I'm even going to make it a little bit easier for you. Tomorrow, we're going to share some scripts, some little verbiage that other people are using and I myself will be using to invite my friends to that event. And then you can either copy and paste it if you like it, or you can copy it, put it in your notes, and change it to your personality and make it sound more like you, and then share it with your friends. And the ones that say yes, Wednesday, when we open that thread up, you can just add them to it and they'll be ready to go that evening. So let me see, I'm just looking at my notes real quick. I want to make sure I covered everything. So first, I'm going to just give you all an opportunity. I'm going to look through this chat real quick and see what questions I am missing. Let me see. Yes, Ms. Teresa, we are going to get with you. I'm so excited that you have a friend that is interested. Let's see. I think I answered all the actual questions. All right, if you have a question, just unmute yourself, or if you don't know how to unmute yourself, raise your hand and I can unmute you because then I'll see you. All right, I drink mineral water at night. I don't know if y'all know about that little secret, but it helps you sleep. Did y'all know that? You can get carbonated mineral water. It helps settle my tummy if we eat dinner or anything kind of late. And but the minerals in it really help you sleep really good. Just a little off the topic. All right, any other questions? Do y'all have any questions about the products? Do you have questions about your supplements that you're taking, or do you have any questions about the business? Are you curious about anything? I'm happy to talk about. I'm an open book, so if you have questions for me, I will answer them to my best ability. Ms. Teresa, did you have a question?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a minute. My phone is wanting to sing again. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. You are just fine.
Oh my God. Well. Ay. Okay. Well. My friend, her name's Carla, Laura Moon. She said that she needs to get her husband, that this is okay for her. And she's diabetic, and I believe she's had a surgery done, and she goes to our church. And I wanted to know, you answered the question. I can invite her tomorrow night, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That is the perfect solution, is to invite her and maybe encourage her husband to sit with her and watch the event too. That might answer some questions and maybe ease his mind just a little bit. And then if he has questions or she has questions, I'm happy to hop on the phone, or Crystal and I can both text message with you and with her or with her husband. I'm always happy for y'all to give my number to somebody, as long as you promise it's not a crazy person. But I'm always fine with y'all passing my number along. I'm always happy to talk to anyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, of course. Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, well then I am going to stop the recording.